In the heart of Victoria's undulating hills lies Beechworth Lunatic Asylum, also known as Mayday Hills Hospital. Behind its crumbling facade and boarded-up windows, the asylum hides a dark history. Between 1867 and 1995, more than 9,000 patients died within its oppressive walls, and some say their restless souls still linger in the asylum's darkened halls. It is said that the asylum's most famous ghost is that of Matron Sharp, a stern but kind nurse who worked in the asylum during its early days. She was known for her dedication to her patients, but she was also strict and followed the rules of the asylum religiously. It is said that she was so devoted to her job that she never took a holiday and ultimately died at her post. Since then, visitors and staff have reported seeing the ghost of Matron Sharp wandering the old wards, always neat and tidy in her starched uniform, watching over the patients who never left. Another famous ghost is that of Tommy Kennedy, a young man who was admitted to the asylum after being convicted of stealing a horse. He was only 19 years old when he died of tuberculosis in 1894, but his spirit is said to still linger in the asylum, playing harmless pranks on visitors and staff alike. Some have reported hearing the sound of laughter echoing through the empty halls, while others have felt a sudden drop in temperature or the sense of being watched. Emma and her friends, all avid ghost hunters, decided to visit the asylum for themselves. They booked a tour with the local ghost hunting company, which was run by a cheerful man who introduced himself as Barry. Barry held a flickering lantern high above his head as he led the group through the asylum's maze of corridors. He pointed out spots where patients had died or where strange activity had been reported. His stories were both fascinating and horrifying, and the group listened intently, their faces illuminated by the lantern light. As they made their way through the asylum, Barry told them about one of the most infamous patients, a woman who had been admitted after killing her lover. The woman had become so violent that the asylum staff had to restrain her in a padded cell. One day, the staff entered the cell to find the woman dead, but when they went to remove her body, they found that she had somehow managed to break free of her restraints and had hanged herself with her own clothes. Now, visitors to the asylum have reported seeing the ghost of the woman in the padded cell, banging on the walls and screaming for help. But it wasn't just the patients who had died within the asylum walls. In 1921, a fire broke out in the women's ward, and several nurses and patients lost their lives. It is said that the ghost of one particular nurse can often be seen rushing through the asylum, trying to put out the flames and save her patients. As the tour continued, the group felt an increasing sense of unease. The air grew colder and the silence was broken only by the sound of their own breathing and the distant creaking of the old building. Suddenly, Emma noticed a dark shadow that seemed to detach itself from the group and disappear around a corner. When she told the others, they dismissed it as a trick of the light, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. When the tour ended and the group began to disperse, Emma decided to take one last look around. She wandered into a side room that had been used as a storage closet. The door was slightly ajar, and as she pushed it open, she heard a loud crash from inside. She hesitated for a moment, then slowly opened the door and stepped inside. The room was pitch black, and when her eyes adjusted to the darkness, she saw a pair of glowing eyes staring back at her. She screamed and stumbled backward, knocking over a nearby shelf. As the items on the shelf crashed to the floor, the glowing eyes vanished. Emma fled the room and didn't stop running until she reached the safety of her car. Back home, she showed the photos she had taken that evening to her friends, and they all agreed that something strange was going on at the asylum. From that day forward, Emma never went back, but she never forgot the terrified look in the eyes of that mysterious creature. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever visited a haunted place? Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to stay tuned for more spine-chilling stories.